We cannot show one moment of weakness. Everything we do has to be strong. Catching the ball, passing the ball, working to get open, a block out, all of those things.
Green from Brown. Right through it very nicely. Goes in. Layup shot.
Oh, wow.
That's something, huh?
City and Beer. Kicks to McGowan.
To Tony. Tony puts it up. And with 2 on the shot clock.
Ellison, that's a 3. Blocked by Brown. Here comes McGowan. Accelerating. Throws it up and drops it. +1.
He drives. Lays. Scores. And 1.
Trey McGowan has the zoo going nuts. They have something to cheer about again here in Pittsburgh.
And listen to this crowd for Trey McGowan with a big bear hug from Jeff Capel.
People aren't going to come in here and walk over this Panther team, which means they're back.
It starts as a game, a gathering of friends. And slowly, as some begin to sit back, others stand out. The joy of playing turns to passion. And as the skills develop, so do the minds. And they begin to seek challenges, peers, and mentors to further their abilities and opportunities. The love and passion becomes a thirst for people in a place
we make history today in Pittsburgh
that will embrace and push, a hunger for excellence, and to be in and among champions. These are the dreamers, scholars, leaders. These are the guides, teachers, mentors. And this is the opportunity, the challenge, the place. This is Pitt Beyond the Script.
This week on Pitt Beyond the Script, we recap the Panthers' big win in the Pitt over 11th-ranked Florida State. We'll sit down with Coach Capel and introduce you to another member of his young squad, freshman Trey McGowan. We'll catch up with head coach Keith Gavin as his 8-0 wrestlers come off a shutout win at South Dakota. And we'll share another special moment in the Pitt as the university honors forever Panther Lori Johnson, as her jersey joins those of Billy Knight, Charles Smith, and Brandon Knight in the rafters. Plus, we'll visit with Coach White as his team digs into ACC play. This week on Pitt Beyond the Script.
What a phenomenal world we live in, where the impossible is anything but. No matter the game, we are always playing for Pittsburgh. On the biggest stages, amplifying the quietest voices, leveraging knowledge for society's gain, the builders of the future. We empower minds. We ignite fire and soar higher. Hail to Pitt.
You already have the initiative to get started, a desire to want more, to be challenged, to be pushed, and to be coached and mentored when you hit hurdles. The professional MBA program at the University of Pittsburgh's Katz School of Business offers hands-on, experience-based learning through an innovative blend of online and in-person courses, allowing you to earn your MBA at your own pace, on your own schedule. Exceed your goals and see new, brighter ones for tomorrow.
Pitt Beyond the Script would like to congratulate former Panther midfielder Javi Perez on his selection by the Los Angeles Football Club in the 2019 MLS Super Draft. Congratulations, Javi. We look forward to following your career. Hello and welcome to Pitt Beyond the Script alongside men's head basketball coach Jeff Capel. I'm Rob King, and boy, what a stretch of 6 days. First of all, 3 games in 6 days. That's a pretty demanding stretch from your team.
No, it is. And if you look at, our schedule to start out, playing North Carolina, Louisville, NC State, and Florida State, 3 teams that are ranked in the top 20, and a Louisville team that went down to North Carolina and won. Certainly a challenging schedule. And then to play 3 of them in 6 days, was very daunting, but I really like how our team responded.
McGowan, what a blow by! What a blow by! And listen to this now. They throw it up at the buzzer. It's off the glass. The Panthers win it overtime. A signature victory for their first-year head coach, Jeff Capel.
Obviously, we were able to get the win against Louisville and showed some grit, showed some toughness, showed some maturity. We went down and we gave ourselves a chance against a really good NC State team where we had a chance to win that game. And then I was really proud with a quick turnaround, how we were able to move on to the next play and come back and play maybe our best game of the year against Florida State.
The Zoom is back in full effect. Tonight, Pittsburgh put away the number 11 team in the country. Florida State goes down.
I'm going to ask you about Trey McGowan in a little bit. We have a feature on him coming up, but I did want to ask you about the importance of that Louisville win. It had been a long time since Pitt had won an ACC game. Was that a little bit of a lifting experience, a little bit of the monkey off the back experience?
It was a big win for us, and I think the manner in which we did it, I think made it even bigger. From the fact that we had a 16-point lead, they came back, and the game goes to overtime. And in that moment, as we were in the huddle, I could see their faces, and we were dejected. And I kept thinking in my mind a little bit like our returning guys are going to be thinking about NC State last year when they had a 15-point lead and they blew it. And that was one, I think, last year they felt like they could have won and should have won. And then right away, Louisville comes out the first possession and hits a 3. And I think one of the biggest shots of the year for us was the very next play. Xavier Johnson comes down and hits a 3 and ties it up. And I thought that kind of, we got punched in the gut. And I thought that, we got up off the mat and we came back fighting. And for us to be able to pull out that win under those situations was huge for us.
That's a great learning experience, right? And then NC State, a different kind of learning experience. It looked like for most of the second half, like you're going to hold them off and come up with a big upset victory. It didn't happen. How did that help you down the stretch against Florida State?
I think being at home certainly helped. That helped out a lot. Our first ACC road game and life on the road in this league is difficult. And in the NC State game, we did a lot of really good things.
Beverly turns it over. Wilson frame ahead to Johnson. Johnson answers to retie the game at 63.
But 2 things that have kind of plagued us all season are turnovers and not being able to rebound. And those are the 2 things that really hurt us in the second half. In the Florida State game, we had a lead. They cut it. We were still able to get stops, and then we were finally able to make a play. Xavier made a couple of plays down the stretch. We rebounded better. I think we out-rebounded them in the second half, and then we did a better job of valuing the basketball. But certainly the home crowd helps. We got so much energy from them against Louisville and against Florida State, and it's something that we're incredibly grateful for.
You've mentioned Xavier a couple times. He's been terrific. Audie's Tony, 17 against NC State. Terrell Brown, a sophomore, did you almost have to re-recruit Terrell to get him to stay? And how important has his progression been to your team?
Yeah, his progression has been huge for us. And, sometimes it takes big guys a little bit longer. And for us, a new staff, a new way of playing, a new way of doing things, maybe a new intensity in practice, a new energy, there's a lot of competitiveness. That's something that he's had to get adjusted to. To his credit, he has worked. He didn't put his head down. He got in the gym and he worked and he's done extra, and you're starting to see those things pay off.
Gowans down the lane, drops it off.
I have seen Terrell Brown show more emotion in this game than I have from watching him for years in the Nike EYBL.
The thing that I love is that you're starting to see him become more confident. You're starting to see him believe in his talent and believe in his work. And I think that's given him confidence to work even more. As far as re-recruiting, I'm not sure we re-recruited any of them. It was just, do you want to be a part of this? We want you to be a part of it. We believe in you. But then that's on you. And I think, you know, he made the decision that this is something he believed in. He believed in the university. He believed in the program and the direction it was going. And we're grateful that he did, and we're grateful that he's continued to work. And I think, you know, his future is bright. He's getting better and better.
We talked about some of the young guys who played extraordinarily well. Trey McGowan scores 30 against Florida State. That would have been a freshman scoring record at Pitt if it wasn't for the fact that he scored 33 2 games prior to that. We have a feature coming up on Trey that I wanted to ask you. He was the first guy, I believe, that you landed as the new head coach or your first recruit. What was that process like, and what is Trey going to mean to this team moving forward?
You know, the process of recruiting him was fairly easy. You know, it's interesting. Like, I look back at my career in recruiting and some of the players that I've gotten, some of the best players that I've gotten, you know, been fortunate enough to get have been some of the easiest recruitments. Trey committed to us without taking an official visit. It's something he believed in. You know, he and I developed a good relationship. He believed in what we were talking about. He believed in the opportunity, and he wanted to play in the ACC.
Accelerated. Throws it up and drops it. +1. Young man, it's your night.
I'm not sure what was more impressive, the finish by McGowan or the reaction by the crowd.
He's a worker. He's naturally competitive, and he wants to be really good, and he's receptive to listening and to learning. And because of that, we felt like that he would come in and be able to contribute right away. But just as important, we felt like that he had a lot of upside to get better. And he's certainly done that. I think he's gotten better from game 1 to where we are right now. And he's fearless. You know, he'll fling his body around, and he doesn't do everything right. He still makes some mistakes, but they're mistakes of him trying to go hard. I've never worried about him, Deese, Xavier, any of our new guys. Really, any of our guys, I've never worried about them being afraid. You know, that's the one great thing about these young kids is that they aren't afraid. They're up for the challenge, and I think that's because of the competitiveness that they have in them.
Coach, a few people would have forecast a 2-2 start in the ACC. It's been a lot of fun watching it. Thanks very much.
Appreciate it.
All right, stick around. We have more coming up, including the feature on Trey McGowan. We're also going to be talking with Coach White, the women's head basketball coach, when we return on Pitt Beyond the Script. Pitt Beyond the Script will return after these messages.
I think the key component of a good environment for learning is a sense of partnership. The students need to feel that they have a stake in their own learning. I think that the key to that creating that kind of environment is making the connection. In the Benedum Hall on the 3rd floor, one place in the corridor, you'll see table tennis. We are all there almost equal. Playing a game of table tennis and exchanging ideas. So I think this kind of seamless integration of work and relaxation is what helps make that connection. So you ready for the exam? And so once you connect and engage the student, you can tailor your delivery of knowledge to match that student's expectation.
You're watching Pitt Beyond the Script.
And welcome to the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse for Pitt's opening matchup against the Cal State Bears.
Head coach Keith Gavin could not have scripted a better start to his second year at the helm of the Pitt wrestling program. The Panthers have built an impressive 8-0 record with wins over West Virginia and Oklahoma, wins over ranked teams like Northern Iowa and North Dakota State. And his squad capped the weekend with a picture-perfect shutout win over South Dakota State and are now ranked 18th in the nation with a big match against Oklahoma State this Saturday at the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse.
Momentum is real. I think that, and that's what we've seen in some of these duels where we get some momentum going, and the next guy up has done a good job of keeping it going. So everything's contagious. And I think that having a good culture and a good attitude when everybody's giving their full effort out there, that stuff's contagious. So it's easier for the guy following to do those things. We haven't wrestled perfect in any dual meet. We've been making mistakes, and we're constantly trying to tweak things and get better. But what's kind of saving us when we make mistakes is our guys are competing really hard. They're fighting to the last whistle. And I think that when they do that, they can get away with making a mistake or two. For now, and it's our job to come back in the practice room and tweak some things. Yeah, this weekend's a huge opportunity for our guys. We're big underdogs going into the match with Oklahoma State being ranked 3rd in the country, but each guy in our lineup has an opportunity to knock off somebody that's ranked pretty high, and that's what you do this for. It's for the challenge. We're constantly putting these guys in a challenging situation in practice, so they'll be prepared, and they got nothing to lose. So I'm excited to see what they can do.
He gets the pin at 157.
What an exchange right there. What an exchange by UNI and the Panthers.
Watch this. Oh, McGowan's. A no business stuff. Here comes the steal. And the jam by McGowan to make it 11-10.
McGowan's to the rack.
This guy's showing out tonight.
McGowan's good with the three-pointer. These kids are impressive, and they're going to grow up quickly over the next 3 months.
I'm Trey McGowan. I'm from Pendleton, South Carolina, freshman. I'm big on family. I like shoes, I like video games.
Great behind the back move. How about the dribbling? The freshman Trey McGowan showing off.
That was NBA 2K.
Favorite video game is 2K. Favorite pair of shoes, probably Jordan 11s or Jordan 1s.
There's McGowan's from downtown. I see what you mean about this kid. The freshman from Pendleton, South Carolina, by way of Hargrave Military Academy.
He can shoot the three, but I didn't realize he had that kind of range.
My dad and my mom, they both played college basketball. My dad played at South Carolina State, and my mom played at Western Carolina, so I guess I had a basketball in my hand early.
Stop and go, McGowan's reversal. We're seeing all of the repertoire.
Over his last three, he's averaged 19 a game. He may get 19 before halftime.
They are juiced at the zoo.
My parents, they coach high school too, so like I would always go to their practices and I just play with them and all that. So I guess I just loved it from there.
Boy, I'm impressed. I knew he was good. He was rated 83 among the Hot 100 in the 2018 recruiting class. He's living up to that advanced value.
As soon as like Coach Capel and the staff talked to me, I told my dad, I was like, I know where I'm going.
You think it's going up? I do.
It just felt right. It was like we were just like connected. Coach Capel came to the school. We sat down and talked, and I called my dad later on. I was like, I'm going to Pitt.
He is absolutely on fire.
All the players he's worked with, he's played in the ACC. He talked about what he wanted me to get better on. A lot of coaches don't talk to you about that. They just tell you what you want to hear. But he told me like things that I need to work on and how he'd help me improve on.
Look out! Look out!
You hear the expression sometimes, that guy's making everything. But it's true. McGowan is making everything from every angle.
And McGowan has tied the all-time freshman record set by Law back in 1980 with 29 points.
Every game is a battle. Coach likes to put it in rounds and fights. You just got to win every round.
Well, that is the all-time score as a freshman in the history of Pitt basketball.
Be ready to compete every day, and I think we do that. Start that in practice so that it transfers over to the game.
Fast break the other way. McGowan's.
Hi, I'm Trey McGowan from Pendleton, South Carolina. I play guard, and you're watching Pitt Beyond the Script.
That's a freshman record for a single game with Pitt.
No other industry is changing as rapidly as healthcare. What's needed are leaders. The University of Pittsburgh Joseph M. Katz Graduate School of Business, in partnership with UPMC, offers an executive MBA that focuses on healthcare. The 19-month hands-on program is taught by world-class faculty from Katz and UPMC. It's designed for experienced healthcare professionals seeking to transform the industry. To learn more, visit emba.pitt.edu.
What a phenomenal world we live in, where the impossible is anything but. No matter the game, we are always playing for Pittsburgh. On the biggest stages, amplifying the quietest voices, leveraging knowledge for society's gain, the builders of the future. We empower minds. We ignite fire and soar higher. Hail to Pitt.
You're watching Pitt Beyond the Script. While most of the focus and fanfare of the season has been on Coach White, as he lays the foundation for a new era of Pitt basketball, the Panthers took a moment to celebrate and honor the legendary career of Lori Johnson, whose 2,312 career points stands as a school record. With both their actual and university families on hand, and in front of one of the largest crowds of the season, Johnson became the 5th player in Pitt basketball history to have her jersey retired.
When I called Lori to let her know that her jersey was going to be retired, the elation and the pride that she had, it just permeated through the phone, you know, and it's well-deserved, it's long overdue, it's an opportunity to celebrate the past, and she set a standard here at Pitt. She has scored more points than any other Panther in our school history, and she set a standard that all of our girls now are hoping to achieve, and I was thrilled to make the phone call and just really honored to have her here and celebrate with her.
Lori was a tough kid. I mean, when she came from Newcastle, they played a hard-nosed brand of basketball up there, and she was coached really hard in high school, and that was during a time where Western Pennsylvania basketball for the women was really top-notch, and Lori was playing competitive ball every game in high school, so she brought that to us at Pitt. Lori knew the game very well. She scored the ball many different ways, from three-point line, inside. She was able to use her body, knew how to rebound and put the ball back in. And plus she had a good eye for her open teammate, that type of thing. So she was a well-rounded player. She was that type of player that when the game was big, she was bigger. So I think that's a good way to describe her, other than her actual playing ability.
I've always believed that the past determines the present, that then determines the future. And having great players that then lead to the next generation of great players is so important to our program and our growth. Lori Johnson did amazing stuff here at Pitt, and to be able to recognize all of her achievements and put her name up in the rafters of this place is really, really exciting.
We want to congratulate Lori Johnson on her jersey being retired, and we're so proud and honored to have someone of her stature with us and to be able to recognize what she accomplished here as a Pitt Panther is just a special opportunity, and we're really glad that she and her family and friends and everyone can be here. So congratulations, Lori.
It's all about what you want. If you got the desire to play, it is what it is. Bad ankle, hurt or not, it don't matter. It could be hurt. Look at me. 2 messed up legs, I still did what I had to do. I don't know. It's the best accomplishments I ever had. This is the biggest, greatest thing ever happened to me. That's all I can say.
Welcome back to Pitt Beyond the Script, and we're here with women's head basketball coach Lance White. And Coach, I want to start with this weekend because some interesting things happened around the Boston College game. First of all, celebrating Lori Johnson and the number of alumni that showed up for that ceremony and for Alumni Weekend. What did that mean for you to sort of reach into the past and grab some of that Pitt history and bring them to the present?
Well, I thought it was an awesome weekend, and you know, we all got together Saturday and had the alumni, and it was just a great experience to be able to connect with some of those people that played here before. And I've always said their stories are so important to what we're about now and as well as in the future. And so just to reminisce and hear from them about what it was like back when here at Pitt, but then also Lori Johnson of being able to have the first women's basketball player's jersey retired is really, really important to the growth of our program.
The Boston College game, you had some opportunities to win that game. What do you learn from that moving forward that you can talk about with your team and hopefully when you get into another close situation like that, come out on top?
Well, I was so excited about how hard our kids played, and as whenever you can force 25 turnovers, and you're playing with a lot of energy, and obviously we had some huge chances. I thought we got some buckets to the rim. We got a 3 for our best shooter, Cass, and got to the free throw line, and unfortunately we didn't connect on those, and that's got to be a huge emphasis for us. Is once you get those opportunities, you got to take advantage of them, and and I didn't think we did that well enough down the stretch, and there was a stretch whenever we had the plays we needed to, but we just didn't connect. And but we're right there as our kids are fighting and clawing, and so for that's huge takeaways as we continue the gauntlet of the ACC.
And we had Cassidy Walsh on last week, and she talked about really being excited about being here and what she's calling the ground floor. How important are Cassidy Walsh and Danielle Garvin and Asia Bug, the senior leadership, to what you're also trying to accomplish? It's one thing for the coaches to talk about it. Sometimes it's nice to have that leadership from the players as well.
Absolutely, and and all of those kids, I've said all year long, is that for me, they're all freshmen, and all of them have had to step up into a different role. From the position Cass was in last year to now she's our go-to player, and now she's getting the best defensive player on her, chasing her around, and that's a different role. And in the locker room and all that stuff, they are having to control what's being said, and and I'm really excited about how well they're playing, and we just have to keep growing and keep getting better every game.
Since the last time we talked, you get a transfer in, you have a big freshman class. What do you think about these girls, sort of in general? We won't specifically talk about each of them, but as you try to turn the corner here with this program?
Me and my staff, we talk so much about my first class, and and this group they're an athletic group. They're a team that gives us a lot more size and depth, and so it's going to be fun to get that group in here, and the excitement that they're going to bring, and they're great kids. Is that they're excited, they're competitors, and they're exactly what I wanted for my first class here at Pitt.
Meanwhile, back to this year's team, the next 3 games at home. How important is that to try to have those games at home and maybe again try to establish something?
It was. After going on the road for those first 2 against 2 top 10 teams, it was really nice to come back home and and be right there in a game and have our chances to go win it. Now we got the next one at home, and again we've got to develop a culture that home court, you got to protect it at all costs, and you've got to go and and play as hard as you can for your fans and friends here at home.
Coach, thanks very much for the time. Good luck.
All right, thank you so much. Hell to Pitt.
Thank you for watching Pitt Beyond the Script.